Hello students, I am Hasmathullah from G.K.Jain. Today we are going to see the 11th standard accountancy books of crime entry. In the books of crime entry, we are going to see about the accounting introduction. In the accountancy introduction, we are going to see the various aspects of accounts. In the first aspect of account, we are going to deal with those transactions which are going to come for the very first time. When we start our accounting transaction, what we do the first? What we are going to do for the first intent, that is what deals with this chapter. That's the reason we have gave the name of the chapter, Books of Crime Entry. The first entry that we used to do in our accounting. That is this chapter is all about that. In an accounting world, in an accounting field, what are those entries? What are those transactions are there which are going to be passed for the very first time? In that scenario, we have three things: accounting equations, journal entries, and at the last we have a ledger. From the ledger, we move on to the different aspects like trial balance and like other things. But the first thing that we have in accountancy is nothing but the books of crime entry. In the books of crime entry, we are going to deal with the accounting equation. Now we could have learned about it. What is accounting equation? From the word itself we will understand. We'll divide the word into two major aspects. One accounting, another one equation. First, let's go for the accounting. What is accounting? We are summarizing the various transactions that could have happened in the business. Various transactions that has incurred in the life of business or firm. Then what is equation? In the mathematics you have learned in your lower classes about the equation that we are combining few things together for the better result, for the better understanding of a sequence is what an equation. In this type of sums, in this type of theory part, what we are going to see is accounting equation. The detailed analysis of accounts we are going to see with the help of equation. See, each and every individual are not expertise in the various accounting scenarios. They are not having the perfect knowledge about the accounts, right? How the non-accounting people, the non-commerce people will understand the accounting things? We have to segregate it. We have to make it easy. In that scenario, we have accounting equation. You could have learned about the ratio analysis. We have a ratio in mathematics. We have a ratio in accounts. We call it accounting ratio. With the help of accounting ratio, you can go with an easy flow and understand the basic thing of what is happening in the business, what is happening in the organization. In the same way, with the help of accounting equation, even the outsider, even the non-commerce people, non-accounting knowledge people will understand about the firm's liquidity, about the firm's liabilities, about the firm's assets. Simple. Let's go and understand the meaning of accounting equation. Very simple meaning. With the words of two lines, you can understand the relationship. The relationship of assets. Very important thing. The relationship of assets with liabilities. The relationship between the asset with the liabilities of whom? Liabilities of outsiders and owners. You have three things. Point number one, it is the relation between asset and liabilities. Point number two, this liabilities is not a general liabilities, liability of outsider. Point number three, the liabilities of owner. When you are explaining the relationship between the asset with liabilities, that forms a type of equation. When you are explaining the relationship between the asset and liability in the form of equation. You did say that there is a 5 lakh relation. What does it mean? There is a 5 lakh of asset and you have a 5 lakhs of liabilities. You are explaining it 5 lakh liability, 5 lakh asset. There is a relation in the form of equation. Like you have known in your classes, A plus B. Is it? B square. Like that you would have known in your lower classes in the maths where you have known about the equations. That we understand that A means 10, B means 100, together how much? 1000. In the same way, here we are explaining the relation between the asset and liabilities. If the asset of respective firm is 5 lakh rupees, what is the liabilities? This liabilities is outsider liabilities or the what terms to be an accounting equation. Very simple. Relationship between, you could get this kind of questions in your 2 marks. The relationship between the asset and liabilities. The relationship between assets and liabilities of the owners and the outsider in the form of equation. In the form of equation is known as accounting equation. That type of equation is known as accounting equation. See the accounting equation. Asset is equal to capital plus liabilities. Your asset should be equal to capital and liabilities. This capital denotes the owners fund. This liability denotes the outsiders. Asset, the asset of your company. The real assets of your company may be the land, maybe the building, maybe the stock, maybe the machineries. That plus capital, the owner's fund plus the liabilities, the outsider fund. Together it forms an equation. Asset is equal to capital plus liabilities. This is a simple equation. Asset should be equal to capital plus liability. When you add this together, it should be equal to this. For example, you have 4 lakh rupees your assets and 1 lakh is your capital. Then what? Your liability should be 3 lakhs because this together should be equal to assets. Asset is equal to capital plus liability. Your capital, when you add in the liability, it should be equal to your assets. In the accounting equations, you have 5 different types of accounts involved. You have 5 different types of account involved. Account number 1, assets account. In the assets account, you are going to record the various assets that is available in your business. Your assets account. The various assets that is there in your business, in your firm, in your organization. Maybe the land, maybe the building, maybe the furniture, maybe the fixtures, maybe the machineries, all these types of things. The asset which is of a huge and longer period. Account number 2, capital account. Here, the owner contribution. When the business has been started with the cash, the kind, the owner which has brought out the money into the business, that money, the contribution of the owner is nothing but capital. Then the third entry, revenue entry. Revenue is what? The basic profit that the firm would have earned after the various times of operation. Then the expenses. In the distinct time, the thing that you have sold it, that you have got some kind of expenses, you have purchased raw materials, you have purchased something else, all the materials you would have purchased, that expenses and the liability. Apart from that, some of the liabilities that you are liable to pay to the outsider, to the owners, some amount that you have to give it back to the people whom you have taken. So these are the 5 different accounts: assets, capital, revenue, expenses and liability. The different type of account is involved. After the involvement of all these type of account, you will have your equation. What is the equation? Assets is equal to capital plus liabilities plus revenue minus expenses. Again, all these values together should be equal to what? Assets. Your asset should be equal to capital and liabilities and revenue minus expenses. Capital, contribution of the owner. Liability is a certain amount that you have to pay back. Revenue, that you have generated income. And expenses, you have incurred some kind of expenses in the business. When you add capital, liabilities and revenue with the expenses that you have incurred in the business, it should be equal to your assets. That's the reason in accounting equation we have 2 equations. Equation number 1, assets should be equal to capital and liabilities. Equation number 2, assets should be equal to capital, liabilities, revenue minus expenses. Okay students, now we are going to see the
subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.